Hi, I'm Dr. E, and welcome to another segment of our daily devotion. Today I want to talk about a beautiful gift we've received. That is the gift of the Holy Spirit. This is a gift of grace which we've received in Jesus Christ. By the mercy of God, when Christ was sacrificed for us, we've been glorified with Christ and glorified to be able to receive the beautiful Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit. Now, as you probably know and you recollect, even if you're unfamiliar with the Holy Spirit and the functions of the Holy Spirit is part of the Godhead, part of the Holy Trinity. We have God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And in His mercy, God has blessed us to be able to receive the Holy Spirit when we receive Christ, when we believe in the sacrifice of mercy which He made for us on the cross. It is a gift which you don't have to qualify to receive. You receive it freely. This is a promise that Christ made to His disciples, that they would receive the Comforter, the Helper that He would send to them, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit of God. And you saw that evidence by the disciples and even Cornelius, right, the Gentile, who received the Holy Spirit, and then they began to speak in tongues. They began to be edified and built up in the Spirit through speaking in tongues. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail in a moment, because today's segment I really want you to receive sort of some of the life-affirming proper functions of the Holy Spirit, how the Holy Spirit gives such viability and life to our life as Christians. I don't want you to be afraid. It's not Casper the friendly ghost, that you have to be afraid of, or that's sort of controlling you. No. This is the indwelling Spirit of God that was given to you, and your body is called the temple of the Holy Spirit. And you're told that one of the functions of the Holy Spirit is actually through the gift of being able to speak in tongues or pray in tongues, you will build up yourself, your body. And I want you to think about your body as your entire being, as a human, body, mind, soul, spirit. That includes your physical strength. That includes your emotional health and well-being. That includes your ability to go through this world and face the many challenges that you have to respond to and overcome. God has not left you alone, and Christ said, I've not left you alone. I will send you the Spirit who will help you. There are many functions of the Holy Spirit, but what I want to really kind of focus on during this segment is that quality of being built up in your body, in your mind, in your emotions, in your strength, and in your sense of well-being, in your ability to go through difficult circumstances, to carry heavy burdens, or to be able to experience a sense of peace and steadiness, spiritual quietness and serenity, of refreshing, a sense of spiritual, emotional, mental refreshing and springing to life. That's what edification of the self or the body means. In fact, in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, we are told that we have not received the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power. And the Spirit that's being referred to in Timothy is the Holy Spirit. And so therefore now we know through his words that this Spirit is actually a spirit of power, a powerhouse for you. If you're weary and feeling burdened and you don't feel like you can respond, that's what the Holy Spirit is for. But how do you activate this beautiful gift of being built up, being refreshed, being strengthened, not feeling weary and tired? Through speaking in tongues, praying in tongues. It's just that simple. Now, you might have never done this before. Maybe it sounds strange to you. I want you to remember, one, you don't have to qualify. You don't have to struggle. It's a gift of grace and mercy from God. And as Christ said, you receive the Spirit to assist you, to aid you, because He's leaving, as He says, but He's sending you the Helper, part of the Holy Trinity. And that's how I want you to accept that, oh my goodness, I have received this beautiful gift, this life-affirming gift that adds quality to my life. Why am I not using it and accessing it in the way that Christ intended and God did through His mercy in providing us with what we need through the finished work of Christ on the cross? Now you might wonder, well, how do I speak in the Spirit? Sometimes I'll tell you how I learned to do it. I pray and I ask God, I said, please help me to be able to speak in the Spirit. I want to function in the Holy Spirit. And I opened my mouth and I thought to myself, simply receive. Don't struggle. Open your mouth and just let words come out. And as I just let go and released and just let words flow, the Spirit received my invitation and the space I created in saying, I want to receive you. God, help me. And out it came. I began speaking in the Spirit. And I've done this many years. I can't even remember the first time that I did it. It was so long ago. I do recall where it was though. I was visiting a mega minister's church in California, and it was a beautiful experience. Pastor Price, and I felt so filled with the Spirit. And when I spoke in tongues and I prayed in tongues, the Spirit gave utterance. It was the Spirit speaking. And I just let myself flow with the Spirit. I didn't try to control it. I let the Spirit speak on my behalf. And I can't tell you what I said in the Spirit, but by operating in the flow of the Spirit and of speaking in tongues, I can tell you what the effect was, what the benefit was. And I think this is what's important for you to receive. I felt so strengthened in my physical body. I wasn't thinking about my needs. I wasn't feeling empty. I felt more positive. I felt a sense of peace. And as I have done this over the years, many times during the day, I'll do this. And if I'm feeling tired, I'll pray in the Spirit. And suddenly I receive that strength I need to do the next thing that God's asking me to do. Sometimes there's a situation that I witness that, it seems challenging. I don't feel like I can carry, it's like it's too much for me. And I will experience this beautiful sense of not only feeling strengthened in my physical being, but also in my emotional sense of well-being. And also in feeling the presence of God and the Holy Spirit and of Christ, feeling them very close and near to me and feeling their love. And in those moments, I know I don't have to respond to this situation or this circumstance by myself. They're right there with me, helping me, building me up, So out of this experience, I don't come out feeling disillusioned. I don't come out feeling empty. I don't come out feeling burdened, or I don't come out feeling anxious or fearful. Instead, it's like I've tapped into the power source. El Shaddai, God, all powerful. God over all. Okay, over all creation. And I feel like I've siphoned from his strength after I've prayed in the Spirit, after I've allowed the gift of the Holy Spirit to open up, and I allow myself to just receive the flow of the Spirit and to pray in the Spirit. That energy, that invigoration, and that sense of refreshing, that I'm okay in my entire being. And God is with me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me really takes on new meaning after I've prayed in the Spirit. So today I invite you to sit before God if you have never prayed in the Spirit before, and just like I mentioned before, ask him to help you. God bless you, and I'll talk to you next time.